Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Time to tap in now.
My mind right, money right, yeah. Ready for war, nigga, we ready for y'all.
You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in
Everybody jump.
with the Hood Mystic.
We here, man. It's a lot of things that I'm going to say that might be triggering. So if you like a liberal, you align with the Democratic Party, you don't really get into politics, you don't really understand what's happening, or you just kind of set in your own ways when it comes to how this stuff work. If you like severely blue pill, like highly traditionalist, white picket fence, 2.5 kids, things of that nature, this conversation is going to be really challenging and you might not get no value from it. But if you are eccentric, like to live outside of the edges a little bit, maybe a little rough around the edges, at the same time conservative, but at the same time knowing exactly what it is that you want out of life, this conversation will be highly beneficial because the message is today that we have already won. You may not know that you have won. You may feel like you're in a losing race. You may feel like the world is against you. But if you're able to tune in, tap in, and understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying, then you have already won. For that thought alone, just give yourself a round of applause. So the way that my camera is positioned, I'm going to be somewhat moving it from time to time. But at the same time, we're going to get directly into the share, basically directly into the shit. So this is a channel message. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be talking about in reference to the country, the world, and then also your own personal spiritual development, because the reality of this thing is that we are in this world, but we're also trying to figure out our own personal life and development. So, as we can see here, 9 minutes ago, Biden drops out the 2024 presidential race. So, this is predicted for a very long time. For whatever reason, is happening today during a full moon. And so, essentially, what we're dealing with is spiritual possession. All right. Like the video, share the video, put a 1 in the chat. If you may not understand what I'm talking about, but at least hear me when I say that we are dealing with spiritual possession. So let's deal with some actual factuals. The voodoo loa. Okay. In Haitian voodoo, the loa or the iwa, however you pronounce it, serve as intermediaries between humanity and Bunje, a transcendent creator divinity. So, in all of humanity, in every section of humanity, every human being is either tuned in and tapped in to their soul, or they're under some form of possession or programming. So If you don't know or not, if you're under severe programming, your severe programming is in the deep love for your mom and your dad and your sister and your brother because y'all grew up together and y'all trauma bonded. That programmed you in reference to what you're going to do in reality, point blank, period. I don't even care if your parents was conscious. I don't care if your parents was spiritually developed. They programmed you because even your parents are subservient to the transcendent creator divinity. If that makes sense, put a one in the chat because we're going to go many different places. This is a channeled message and I got time. I have a reading at 5. So that gives me about 2.5 hours to get down and dirty. Your parents are not the transcendent creator divinity. Does that make sense? So when you are programmed by any person, parent, grandmother, mentor, that means you are given the GPS directions to crash out. We all must bear witness to the Loa because we are melanated people that do not know our history, but that is okay because we have access to the Loa. Some of our parents smoke crack. One's in the chat. If you grew up, I mean, it sounds crazy now, right? But we're my millennials. Check in. One's in the chat. Like the video. Share the video. Maybe your mom and dad didn't smoke crack, but your friend's mom and dad smoke crack. Come on now. Like, let's be real. So, therefore, we're going to allow that crackhead programming be the cause to our overall spiritual development. The reality is that you have to begin to break that. So, once again, let's go deeper into the Clintons and Haiti. I'm only doing the surface. You can go deeper into this study if you would like. Now, when we talk about Bill Clinton, we talk about Barack Obama, and we talk about Joe Biden, and we can also see what we can do is this. You can basically get a picture of Trump and Clinton like they like contemporaries for real. But as melanated people, what we must do is understand the power of the voodoo loa. One's in the chat. Because we can't, as this is our problem, as African people, as native indigenous people, as original people, as Atlanteans, as Asiatics, we be like, the white man is the oppressor. One's in the chat if you ever heard that. But then at the same time, say we are the original man and the Asiatic and all of these particular things, which are actually true, but are you living that way? Are you emoting that way? Are you seeing things that way? Or are you literally in the bad part of town looking at the white people like, damn, they got it good? One's in the chat. So Clinton's, Trump, Ivanka, Biden, they can only operate no more than under possession. Now, back to the Loa. The Transcendent creator divinity, which would be the architect of this whole entire matrix, that whatever happens to you, you'll fall back into the web of existence, the ever present present, which is the ultimate gift, always spiritually or physically. It knows more about what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. It's only a fool. So we have certain entities and spirits that might be feeling themselves and say, oh, I can possess these humans to do all types of crazy stuff. What is the moral of the story of Job? The story of Job in the Bible is a morality tale that teaches that bad things happen for a greater purpose and that God doesn't abandon his faithful during suffering. One's in the chat if I can't make this shit up. This is a channel message. So therefore, I didn't know that was the moral of the story of Job. I'm just letting you know what time it is because you have already won. Now, let's talk about you during your suffering. Did you think that the scenarios in your life were either you making a mistake or there is no God and I can't believe this happened and all of these particular misnomers and misguided thoughts create a psychosis, or a better definition is a psychological separation between you and God? You and the transcendent creator, divine entity that has created the whole matrix. Because the shit is deep, man. They literally told God's chosen people that they were slaves in the land that God gave you. And niggas been paying rent $2,000 a month by themselves. Got baby mamas, baby daddies, niggas in jail. So when we try to develop a sincere connection between ourselves and the divine, one's in the chat if you can understand and understand the actual plan to separate you from God, separate you from the Loa. So now I'm in front of a bunch of black people and I got to say, we got to talk about possession. We got to talk about sexual energy. We got to do this because you got to come into your right mind. If you're not understanding and overstanding possession, then you will look at Cardi B, all of these entities and energies that are put on a particular pedestal, not because they're better than you, more or less because something inside of them is cut off and they become a vehicle for whatever thing that that spirit wants them to do. And a lot of these people are fueled by alcohol use. So whatever you do along your spiritual path, leave the hard liquor alone. It's literally named spirits. What do spirits do? They possess human beings. Now, there is an alteration and slight adjustment to the concept of possession that can be ultimately be beneficial, but it requires intention, knowledge, and practice. But it is something that we all can do, which is embody a spirit or channel a spirit. Now, when you channel a spirit, you know exactly the spirit that you channel. Because if you think that you're channeling and you say, well, I don't know who I'm channeling, then that could be a form of possession. So differentiating, because this is a study, this is a science, this is an understanding. The more you understand the difference between possession and channeling or embodiment, the easier things will become for you. When you don't understand that you are being possessed, then you're dealing with a lot of negative energy, and that possession comes from the programming. The programming comes from the television. The television is a spiritual device to possess you. There's a natural world around you that a majority of us do not know and do not engage with simply because we have electronic devices. But if those electronic devices shut down, we will be a foreigner into the world that we actually live in. A lot of people work at a job just to invest in technology, TVs, and all of this particular stuff. But we don't really know how to survive without electricity, how to survive in the cold. But when it comes to your humanity, when it comes to your life, the time and energy that you invest in technology versus the time that you spend figuring out how to interface with the natural world, the easier your life will become. So, once again, we're in a level of understanding what the future is. We know what the future is, but all of this deals with the fact that we are Moors, but we don't know that we are Moors. So the moon is in Capricorn. When you deal with the Moors, okay? When you deal with the Moors, you're dealing with an ancient, advanced world empire. That is your ancestors. This is why you're black. This is why you're Negro. This is why you're colored. This is why you're ultimately African American, because you are mislabeled and misidentified as actually Mars or Moors, rather. It can be kind of confusing because when you say Mars, you're also saying Moors because vowels are interchangeable in the English language. So they teach you English. English is a bastardized, tricky, double forked tongue language. Even in the concept of the devil, when you reverse the word, it just say lived. But in everybody's mind, that devil, that evil thing, is them being held back from actually living. And the language is so powerful that most people will live in houses cut off from life through the 90-degree angles. Most people have houses. But when you look at the devil is taken from Pan. Pan is also the god of Salvanus. Salvanus in Roman religion is just the god of the countryside. So, what is evil in this colonialism paradigm? Evil is the countryside. See how that works? Niggas don't be in the countryside for the most part. We be in our homes, in our apartments. So, therefore, when we try to get a deeper understanding and understanding of things, y'all didn't even see that. I could show it to you too. Give me a second. So Salvanus in Roman religion is the god of the countryside, similar to Faunus, the god of animals. So you go Salvanus, Faunus, and Pan. In Roman mythology, Pan, Faunus, Salvanus are all nature gods, all similar associations to woodlands. They're all basically the same, and it's just talking about rural country life, which is more If you knew how to survive in woodlands, you would actually know how to live better than if you didn't know how to survive. One's in the chat if that makes sense. I'm going to engage with y'all. I'm going to ask questions. So you mean to say you can live better if you get a nice house versus living better by understanding how to survive in the woodlands? Excuse me? That makes sense. So therefore, we talk about Capricorn and we talk about nature in this society. Guess what? That's the devil. But what is actually the devil? What is actually your nature? Sex. Oh man. Good. You always talking about sex. Why? Because I'm in my proper energy. I'm okay with having a conversation about sex because I don't gotta have sex with nobody that I'm having a conversation with. More or less, this should be the conversation that you should be having within your close dynamic relationships because that is the thing that's going to actually solidify the relationship because you're not going to get away from it. More or less, in this society, nobody is having the conversation in reference to spirituality and sex as them actually being synonymous. But since the reason why in the spiritual circles you're not going to talk about it, why? Because Mars has its exaltation in the energy of the devil, and the devil means evil. But also, Mars, the planet of pain and struggle, passion and sex nature, is evil, and the devil, but it's also the energy necessary for the process of formation and generation. So when we look at the woodlands or we look at nature, that's literally what in the Bible say, paraphrasing, get married and multiply. Nature already does that. The Loa or the transcendent divine creator already have instilled in you a sex nature. But guess what? You've damned that energy to hell. Let's go on the first date and let's just talk about sex the whole time. You gonna start feeling uncomfortable about the situation. He gonna start feeling uncomfortable about the situation. But then when you start to but say for instance, you don't want to talk about the true sex nature. Oh shit, y'all. Wait a second. Y'all ever figured out some shit about somebody? One's in the chat. If you ever figured out some shit about somebody that they didn't ever even talk about, but you checked into their phone and you found some shit out about somebody, ain't that shit crazy? Ain't that shit mind blowing? Like, oh shit, you a bottom. Oh shit, you take them 3 at a time. Oh, okay. No wonder you weren't satisfied. I ain't got 3 dicks. My bad. Y'all ever figured out some shit about somebody that they couldn't talk about and you confronted it to them and they just sat there and looked at you like a little baby that was either about to cry or run away, but then you started to feel scared because you like, oh shit, I done triggered something. Because Mars is also the planet of war. This same energy, okay, why y'all arguing, fighting all the time then? And then fucking. It's a lot of spirit. Listen to all of the shit that niggas talk about spiritually. And then throw it in the trash because it's wasting your time because you can't even have a real sexual nature conversation with your partner. Every time I start talking about sex, motherfuckers start clenching their little pearls like, here you go again. This is energy that you're not going to get rid of. And it's not even rooted in the root chakra. That's a deeper part of this shit. It's not even rooted in the root chakra. So when it gets to actually understanding your spiritual gifts, you think you're going to understand and overstand your spiritual gifts and you got trauma associated with your sacral chakra in your womb? Trauma is an injury. Trauma is a wound. So the same way, say for instance, something happened in battle and the soldier can't walk no more. He can't just imagine himself to have legs. It's traumatized. It's not there no more. But he couldn't imagine a soldier with no legs try just walking. Like, I'm gonna just get up and walk around. You'll be like, you can't do that. You need to get you some prosthetic legs or something. So when you don't have the sincere, like, as much as you want to know about a person's finances, you should know about their triggers around sex or what they actually want out of a relationship via the sexual path. Because you'll be sitting there arguing with somebody just listening to a motherfucking spiritual lecture on the aspects of doing qigong meditation or some shit. Can't even verbalize the sexual things that you want out of your relationship, but you a fifth degree deep ascended master. It don't work like that. Part of this is to get in real live acceptance of yourself and your energy. And when it comes to like sex, oh, that's a gray area. That's a super, super gray area. So when you look at Mars in a masculine sense, like I always laugh at the fat boys with money. Like, okay, you got money, but you got like 10 years to live. That doesn't make sense. I don't really see that many old fat people. So you're going to have to figure it out. And then people will be like, oh, yeah, Shorty keep playing me. Shorty keep doing me wrong, man. And they'd be like, it's because of how you look, how you carry yourself, your sex nature. Like you gotta tap into something very masculine to trigger the sex nature in a woman. It's literally no way around it. And you got more than enough space and opportunity. If you got two legs, you get on your 2 feet. If you're too big to even walk, like Richard Simmons, who they said just died recently, but I'm pretty sure he died many, many years ago. Right? Start clapping your hands. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get your fucking body right. Even if you fat. It's cool to even be fat, but you got to understand you ain't about to stay there. If you fat, you just be working out all the time. You be trying to figure it out if you fat. Ain't nothing wrong with being fat, but you can't be okay with being fat because that's going outside of your sex nature and we coming up out of some shit. We coming up out of this darkness. So an allusion to sex problems is found in the two human figures, man and woman, chained to the pedestal on which the diabolic figure is seated. The sex nature binds man is a natural fact of a more or less occult order. So basically, that relationship that you strung together and y'all had sex and you had a kid, that was a hidden reality that was supposed to happen. Now, if you don't want it to stay like that, then the deeper reality is that people shouldn't even be having sex. If you don't even understand the spiritual components around this particular energy, because so much can be done with this energy. But when we actually deal with the sex and we keep it in the root chakra, that's actually not sex. Sex in the throat chakra is channeling. Sex in the third eye is spiritual embodiment, the ability to be or allow a spirit or embody a spirit to get things done in this real life. Sex in the heart chakra is attracting your divine twin flame. You don't even get a chance to actually, I mean, you can, because I feel like this energy is very much repairable because it's energetic and we can always connect to the Loa. That's what the voodoo shows us in Haiti and New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina, that the Loa never leaves you no matter how bad or how dire the circumstances is. But when you utilize sex in the heart chakra, it's easy to attract the twin flame. But usually, when you don't do the chakra work and sex is in the lower chakras, you could be in a relationship, you could be married, you can have kids, but you know for damn sure that's not your twin flame. That's why relationships end all the time. Fuck the statistics, it's an observable reality. People be in and out of relationships, marriages, divorced, kids, baby mama, baby daddy. He come pick up his kids on the weekend. That's what it looks like. But at the same time, motherfuckers just think that that's how it is. I got a baby daddy, so what? I got a baby mama, so what? I'm still trying to find my forevermore. Perfectly fine. Let's do some chakra work though. Right? This is the reality of life. So moving on. So we're dealing with the Capricorn moon, the tarot card that rules Capricorn to give us a deeper understanding and overstanding of the energy is the devil. But the devil is actually the ancient Moors, which is the black people. So they'll do anything to keep us in a devilized state. It's a lot of liquor stores in the black community for a reason. They literally took crack cocaine and dumped it in the streets of Los Angeles. Not dumped it, but gave it to the dealers to distribute to the black people. And then said, if you get caught with crack, you'll do 10 more years than if you got caught with the same amount of cocaine. Knowing damn well that white people did cocaine and black people did crack. But crack was also genetically engineered to bond with the melanin. That's why people talk about reparations for slavery. I say we need reparations from the crack era. Because whether you, one's in the chat, if you know somebody that was affected by crack cocaine, if you was a millennial. Now, when you look at the communities, the way that they are, the way that the communities are, the way that they are is because of crack. Crack was a nuclear bomb in the black community, period. And if you can't factor that in, you either just now being born or, I mean, there's no way that you a millennial and not see how much crack destroyed the black community from what it was to what it is now and what it's actually becoming. And then we have to understand that crack was an actual thing that was distributed and started by the Central Intelligence Agency. It wasn't a thing that black people said, you know what we should do, brother? What's that, Jack? Let's cook up this crack and let's smoke it. All right, brother, man, let's do that. No. They gave it away to people for free, basically. What is crack? Crack is very cheap. That's what Whitney Houston said. Why would I do crack? And crack is so cheap. And so many people died, went to jail. But we have to understand, why do they not like black people? And if you can't wrap your mind around this, then you are part of the programming. You are part of the reason why we'll never get anywhere. Because if you can't understand and understand that the black people in this country were prisoners of war, which then turned them into slaves, you can't just go to a group of people and enslave them. However, when you defeat a nation, you can enslave its people. But we have to also understand that a lot of things changed during the Reconstruction period. And a lot of things that changed was the facts of them redistributing our knowledge and them acting like they are the holders of the knowledge, but they're just speculative Masons. Even in their mythology, in the Freemasonic mythology, is a story of Hiram Abiff. In the Bible, Hiram Abiff was the man who built Solomon's temple. But in the Freemasonic lore, they say we killed Hiram Abiff by 3 ruffians. What are they talking about? They're talking about the ancient knowledge that came from them taking over the Moorish science temples. So when we talk about astrology, that's our science. And the more you deal with it, the more you'll understand astrology because it's encoded in your DNA. This is why I know astrology, because I'm a Moor. This is why you know astrology, because you're a Moor. This is why when you Google astrology, you're going to see a bunch of Caucasians. This is why when you get into the hierarchies of spirituality and spiritualism, you're going to see Caucasians. Knowing damn well you could probably channel and talk to angels and do all of the highfalutin spiritual shit. You just don't really apply yourself because you don't know who you are. You actually think you was a slave. That's why you need a job. A job have to be a slavery, because when I worked, every time I worked, it never fails. By Saturday, I'll be scratching my head. I got paid on Friday, whether I got paid every week or every 2 weeks. By Saturday, I was scratching my head. I ain't never have money because I always had to pay bills. Even when I had money in the account, it was accounted for a future bill. Meaning I ain't have enough to pay the fucking bill, so I had to just keep the money in my account and take $5 and $10 away from it whenever I want to get some damn Wendy's. So I'm working every fucking day, but I'll never have no money. That sounds a lot like slavery to me. And to soften the blow, they say, no, your ancestors had it really bad. No, your ancestors had it worse than you. But how did that help me now? Niggas ain't got no reparations. Niggas don't got no generational wealth. And it's all by design. If many people in your family died, ain't nobody have no insurance. All by design. Ain't nobody got no inheritance. Only a few of us. But once again, so it has to do with the generation in nature. Sometimes people use words and they don't even know what they mean. So what does generation mean? Because it's like, hood, what do Capricorn and the devil got to do with black people? Well, it says right there, the generation in nature. What do generation mean? Generation means genes, to give birth, beget. A generation means a family. Genus, race. Do y'all see that? One's in the chat if you see generation and you see race. Because I'm going to give you the rub. Everybody know about this shit except black people. Don't that make sense though? Keep the kings dumb. Generation means race. So let's go back to the devil card, or let's go back to Capricorn energy. So it has to do with generation in nature in every sense. In every sense. And kingdom. It's only one kingdom. It's only one thing missing from the history books. And that's the Moorish Empire. Everybody knows this. They can say Roman, they can say Egyptian, they can say Greek, they can say Scotland, they can say all of these things because they know that all of that shit have been created after the 1900s. Google a country. And I bet you it started after the 1900s. Morocco country started in 1956. Let's go Nigeria. When was Nigeria started? 1960. One's in the chat. Give me a country in the chat and let's see when it was started. The history books ain't telling you the fucking truth. How you a Nigerian and that shit started in 1960? That shit grinds my gears. There's literally no such thing as a Nigerian. What you mean? That's a nationalist. That's a nationalist concept, Nigeria. What you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. The country was started in 1960, brother. Nigeria is a bunch of tribes. The tribes don't make up the country. The tribes then branch off into Ghana. When was Ghana started? 1957, man. When was India? 1950. Come on, y'all. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. All Turkey. When was Turkey started? 1923. Make it make sense. How? How, Sway? The math is not mathing. So it's only one kingdom. Though astrology teaches that Mars has a special connection with the animal kingdom, and animal passion is just your lower chakras, your root chakras. And even when you operate in the root chakra, at least give you a chance. That's why our daddy wasn't really shit for real. Because we all then have to then bear witness to the lower. We all have to bear witness to the spiritual truths of possession and spiritual embodiment because that's the real. So Mars also it has like mindless fucking, which drives the preservation of the body as well of the race. So thank God for that. But at a certain point, we got to start balancing our root chakra into our sacral chakra, up to our solar, to our heart chakra, to our throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra. And we have to actually be knowing what chakra is really fucked up for us. But the more I talk about it, the more it'll start to you can start to see it in your own life. It ain't complicated. It's where you fucking up at. Niggas will be like, I'm spiritual, but I'm fucking for no reason. I'm fucking because she giving me pussy. I'm not about to just be out here searching for ass. I Once you raise your chakras up, you don't even be thinking like that. You think you thinking like that is the only way to think, but if you actually did some spiritual work, my nigga, you wouldn't even be wanting to crack like that. You would be cool not cracking. You would be sitting reading your book, working out, lighting the incense, drinking some water, just in your own zone. You get into your solar plexus chakra, you start thinking crazy shit like, damn, it's a privilege to be around me. I shouldn't just be giving that away to any woman just because niggas done grew up in the same city their whole life and can cycle through all the girls they went to high school with. So now you got hoes. No, you need to get up out of the city and step away from these girls. That's Mars in the lower chakras, right? That's misunderstanding Capricorn energy, where Capricorn energy will rise you into the ability to channel. But it almost seemed like it's some deep spiritual shit. But the same way as somebody getting some ass to a person who can't get no ass, the person that's getting ass, that nigga know magic. That nigga know secrets. So Mars is always figured as the warlord. Not only sexual energy, but every energy in nature changes the result to the cause of the object into the subject. It is unnecessary to work this out any further, but we shall. So let's get into some of the astrology of this particular spiritualism. So we have Pluto conjunct the moon, opposed the sun in Cancer. So we have Capricorn opposed Cancer. So we have the mother and the father. When we have this full moon of the mother and the father, it's a lot of things at play. So when you are in your spiritual bag, you're going to make a lot of shit happen rather, because there are a lot of energies influencing and improving the world. But it's all reference to how you feel. So, of course, we got the article. It's free. The link is in the description. Get into it. But I also have some waning moon homework in reference to how do you want to feel. Don't focus on what you want. Focus on how you want to feel. Don't focus on how you feel now. Why? I'm on the outside looking in, right? You know, I believe in this spiritual shit. I trust in this spiritual shit. I know this spiritual shit is real. I can understand it and overstand it and see it, because from the psychic perspective, you have what is called foresight. So let's talk about the Illuminati in reference to foresight. So we're talking about Capricorn. All right. So this is the Eye of Providence. Let me set this up. Capricorn. Capricorn and mountain goat. The mountain goat is the symbol of the Capricorn zodiac sign and said to represent the qualities of people born under the sign. The mountain goat's steady ascent and determined climb can symbolize the ambition and resilience of Capricorns. All right, bet. So when you look at a mountain, you also see a pyramid. Reports appeared in the media that pyramidal figures of unknown origin located in Antarctica were found on satellite images. So it's pyramids that are shaped like mountains, or a mountain that's shaped like a pyramid, just to kind of show you something, which will then bring us back to the Eye of Providence. The Eye of Providence is also known as the all-seeing eye, is a symbol that depicts an eye, often surrounded by a halo, a ray of light, and enclosed in a triangle. It is meant to represent providence, God's benevolence, or his watchful eye over humanity. The voodoo loa in Haitian voodoo, the loa serve as intermediaries between humanity and Banje, a transcendent creator divinity. Cool. What does providence mean? Providence means foresight, prudent anticipation, timely care, or preparation. So let's go back to the Eye of Providence. The Eye of Providence, or the all-seeing eye. In the chat, where do you see the Eye of Providence at? Mostly. Where do you see the Eye of Providence, the all-seeing eye, the pyramid with an eye on top of it? Where do you see this at? Money. It's on a dollar bill. But what does it mean? What does it mean? Or where did it come from? The Eye of Providence, or all-seeing eye, is a symbol depicting an eye, often enclosed in a triangle. We've already read that. Intended to represent providence as the eye watches over the workers of mankind. So, before it was on a dollar bill, the Eye of Providence was actually the Moorish seal. Which represented unifying your higher self with your lower self. It represents opening your third eye. Now, let's deal with the devil. This card points to the hieroglyphic sign Zane. So Capricorn, the devil, Zane are the same thing. Now we all need to figure out what does Zane mean in Hebrew. The word Zane means weapon in Hebrew, a sword or a sharp weapon. Keep that in mind. When we look at the Eye of Providence, it's a popular symbol among Moorish sovereigns. Many claim it's present on the dollar bill, signifies a contract between the founding fathers and the supposedly indigenous Moors of a maximum. What we know about this contract, that it wasn't physical, it was spiritual. It was where if I created the game and I told you about the game and you said, okay, I'm going to cheat in the game you told me about, but I see that you're going to cheat. And I also see that there is also some necessary evil that needs to take place to bring this thing into balance. I might let you go crazy up into a point that you think that it is going to be some great cataclysmic shift where you take my position as game creator. and that will never happen. So then, how do we get from Moors to Trump? Well, it's very easy. All you got to do is go to where Trump live at. Trump and Mar-a-Lago. Just want to get the history of it. So when you talk about Moorish architecture being built in 1927, 1919, 1857, whatever time they talking about they built it in this amount of many years, is all cap. These buildings were already here. These people took over an empire and then turned the regular citizens into slaves. And then told you a whole different history, but yet and still, what they could not do is supersede the Loa. So everybody's family being a Christian, they had to force to be Christian because Christians actually demonize voodoo working with the Loa. Muslims demonize working with the Loa. But yet and still, being possessed, spiritual embodiment is the only thing that can actually save you because you don't know shit. It's the same thing that happened in Haiti. What happened in Haiti was that they were possessed and they whooped the French's ass. They knew how to spiritually embody ancient warriors and they kicked ass. This is why people want to understand and take away Haiti to this day. Haiti is always going to catch hell because they're trying to capture God. They want to take over God, but see, you could never do that. You don't have the capacity to do so. And even when you think you are, you're still under the purpose and plan. A lot of the things that are happening today were already predicted. And the reason that they already were predicted because it took the possession of certain people to start to get this shit going. This shit is getting out of control. And therefore, if we don't get this right, if we don't write this shit now, we will never understand who we are. And a majority of Black people don't even understand their history as Moors. They think they came from Africa in a sense that they came from tribes. No, they came from Africa because we had an international empire. And if they did come from Africa, they didn't come as slaves. They came on their own ships. Moor means navigator. So, in reference to Mar-a-Lago, among the earliest titles dating back to the 5th century is the plus ultra tile, translated to beyond the ultimate, a Roman influence upon the Moors. So when you talk about the Moors in America, they then got degraded to Seminoles. So once again, you have Spain and Florida. I'm gonna give y'all the Cliff Notes version of this so we can just make so it can make sense. Spain's involvement with Florida began in 1513. That's 20 years after Christopher Columbus. So Spain and Florida have been close together for way longer than England, any of these places. And the reason why is because in 1492, the Moors were overthrown. In 1492, the Moors surrendered Granada to the Spanish, ending the Reconquista or Muslim rule in Spain. So, from there, Spain goes to Florida. But Florida also has Seminole Indians that are black. The Black Seminoles, also known as Seminole Maroons or Seminole Freedmen, were a group of free black people and runaway slaves who joined the Seminole Indians in Florida from 1700 to the 1850s. Very convenient until you start talking about Spain and Moors in Florida. The Moors, a Muslim influence in early Spain, have left their mark on Florida in several ways, including architecture, history, and indigenous people. Why didn't your history teacher tell you about this? Okay, then we talk about the Seminole Wars. The Seminole Wars were over in 1842. Why is that significant? Because when was the country started? 1776, according to the history books. So that means almost 100 years after starting this country, the last state to join the Union was Florida. March 3rd, 1845, Florida became the 27th state. When did the Seminole Wars end? They say 1842, but there was also a third Seminole War that lasted 1858, which was like deeper in the trenches of Florida. Because when you talk about Florida, it's East Florida and it's West Florida, right? The panhandle and the bottom part that sink down. All of Florida was indigenous Moors. Period, point blank. And the whole hijack throughout this whole country was to every city was a Moorish stronghold. Every Indian that they were warring with, I don't think y'all understand how massive the Indian wars were. The American Indian Wars started in 1609 and ended in 1924. That's 315 years that these people came to this land and fought and killed and pillaged and created a stronghold in your land, and then you act like you want to be friends with these motherfuckers is the craziest part to me. You want to work at their jobs, and they fought your ancestors for 300 fucking years, and then they made sure to do the dirty work so your ass wouldn't know shit about it. That shit is like a different level of demonic energy to me. And what comes to truth is that when you really do this spiritual work, you start to see all of this shit. for what it is and not what you trying to personally do in this matrix. You like, all right, cool. This shit is diabolical out here in these motherfucking streets. These people is diabolical. It's a reason why my ass is getting kicked, and I see it now. Do that mean that you got to struggle and live a bad life? No. But it does go into understanding that on the back of a dollar bill is the seal of your people, and you going to always be catching hell in that subtle spiritual mark. Because everybody knows, I mean, not everybody knows, but those that know that this is the symbol of the land, of the people that we about to take over. And we got to do a good job of never showing them who they are. Because once we show them who they are, then it's over. Because who they are is spiritual beings. When you do this spiritual work and you activate your third eye and you begin to see everything there is to see, there's no such thing as Big Brother. It is only your pineal gland. That is the Eye of Providence. That is the mark of Capricorn energy for you to understand and remember who you are. But you can't really get there, right? That's why the devil be chaining those two people like, Black Snake Moan, because y'all can't stop fucking and trauma bonding. It's like impossible. So now, real quick, as I stated earlier, Joe Biden is no longer in the race, meaning that it should be an easy slam dunk for Donald Trump. And it was crazy because I was preparing for this live and I just found like it just had came across the wires. And so I had just posted about this on my Instagram. Go ahead and follow me on my Instagram at the Hood Mystic. Can't log in on my laptop. Let me see if I can at least see the post that I want to show y'all. If not, I'll figure out how I can log in. But it was more of a channeled message in reference to Trump and what he represents spiritually. And a lot of it is based in the tarot cards and stuff like that. So I'll just tell y'all my download and then see if y'all have any questions. But if you want more of a technical approach, feel free to read the article. Link is in the description. They gonna make me log in. So give me a second. Put on my authenticator. This would be the easiest way I could show y'all. Check out my IG. I'll be on there clowning. You want a different variation of me? Check the IG. So what is a Trump? A Trump. So we're not looking at this as the guy that you're seeing being Donald Trump. We're looking at as the avatar of a spirit that is controlling him or manipulating him or using him like a puppet and has been using him like a puppet just because it can. for no other reason. So Trump is in playing cards is just a suit ranking above others, which that's why they chose Trump, because it was an alliteration to triumph, because there was a lot of things that was taking place, a lot of things that was happening that the ancestors just wasn't cool with, and so they had to bring in a particular avatar to do a lot of stuff against this deep state, against this Vatican energy. The Vatican is the same energy that emboldened Spain with all of the resources to take over America, Central America, South America, so forth and so on. So when you look at the deep state and all of these particular entities, they're operating with particular real evil forces. But the true to life God force energies are working through Donald Trump, not because I like Donald Trump, but more or less because his name is Donald Trump. Okay, that's how spirits explained it to me. It's just his name, and it's not really about him. You don't need to really worry about him as an individual. You just need to worry about the words and the symbolism that they're using. Another symbolism that they're working with is the judgment card. So a lot of these entities that we know as, good or bad people, a lot of them already been taken out. A lot of them don't even exist no more on the physical plane. That's just what it is, because they go through a period of judgment that have been taking place since around 2012, give or take 2016, where they really start to go with, okay, we're going to start possessing people. We're going to have to start getting this shit in order. And there is nobody that the Loa cannot possess. You have, like, it's nothing that you can do when the Loa decides to possess you. And then the people in your life, they can get possessed too, for good or negative. This, if we was born in the Caribbean, if we was born in South America, Brazil, the conversation that I'm having with you about possession would be the same conversation we'd be talking about damn Beyonce albums. But since we are grown up in the West, and they intentionally didn't teach you about possession, didn't teach you about spiritual possession, spiritual embodiment, rather, then you deal with tarot cards, and people just trying to utilize it to make money. People just trying to make money off the spiritual community. We can't even get nowhere because we don't even recognize who's possessed and who's not possessed. So beyond that, another aspect of Trump is the trumpet, which is an alliteration or an association or an allusion to the judgment card, which was a channeled message about what's happening now in this energy. I pulled the energy of the day when Trump got clapped, when they bit his ear off like Evander Holyfield. This was the card that I pulled. And the energy was just basically saying that those who are protected by the goddess are protected. Those who are not protected by the goddess is going to be a long ride for you. Herein, the intimation of the significance, which cannot well be carried further in the present place, which is that within us, which does sound a trumpet, and all that is lower in our nature rises in response, almost in a moment, almost in the twinkling of an eye. Let the card continue to depict for those who can see no further the last judgment and the resurrection in the natural body. But let those who have inward eyes, the eye of Providence, Capricorn, the Moors, inward eyes, your third eye, look and discover therewith. They will understand that it has been called truly in the past card of eternal life. And for this reason, it may be compared that which passes under the name of temperance. I was just reading that, but my kind of download was kind of similar, but it was just basically saying that if you can understand and overstand who you are at a spiritual level, you will be guided and protected to always make the best and proper decision that will secure you a place in the future timeline. Because the timelines have shifted, the timelines have shifted. We're in a whole completely different reality. But if you look at it on the outside, you wouldn't be able to see it. The deeper aspect of this is understanding the spiritual alignment of all. When we talk about the nakshatra that this full moon is in, Vishadewa, I pronounced that all messed up, but it basically means all of the Vedic gods. And it's 33 of them in reference to the 33 vertebrae in reference to raising your kundalini, balancing your chakras. So Q clearance, basically from today, Joe Biden stepping down, that was actually predicted 10 years ago by QAnon. QAnon comes from a guy who had Q clearance. What is Q clearance? Q clearance or Q access authorization is a security clearance issued by the U.S. Department of Energy that allows access to classified material. This includes top secret restricted data, formerly restricted data, and the national security information, secret restricted data. Restricted data is defined in the blah, blah, blah. So basically, what some files said was that we can tell the future. And they said, okay, what did the future look like? The future looked like the Moors is going to come back into their power and they're going to correct their status and they're going to continue the bloodline and lineage that we tried to take from them. How the hell they going to do that? We killed everybody. Well, they going to do it spiritually. So then they be like, oh shit, I didn't think that spiritual shit was real. So the CIA was like, oh, we got to check this shit out. So what they do? They did the gateway process. Analysis and assessment of the gateway process. Let me see. In order to describe the Monroe Institute technique for achieving altered states of consciousness. Oh shit. Kyrie, did you say possession earlier? Have I been saying possession this whole video ones in the chat? Y'all probably can't read it, but I'll give y'all some goddamn screen love. An altered state of consciousness is just a possession at a certain level by different aspects of your mind, spirits, energies, entities, guides, you name it. Once they come into your consciousness, they're going to alter your present state of consciousness. And the CIA have studied this all the way. They know that if you got into your spiritual bag, you would be able to alter your state of consciousness, get the real knowledge. But guess what they did? They hired a bunch of CIA agents to be spiritual proficionados. They hired them. And if a person tell you that they went to college and now they spiritual, however, don't be looking at people's lives like, oh, you so much better than me. You got to figure it out. No, motherfuckers got supported by the system to hit you with that mumbo jumbo, because what it boils down to is your ancestors, your guides, your soul, and being able to channel them. Because then that's why when people wake up into consciousness, a lot of them go into the Moor Science Temple. A lot of them go into the Hebrew Israelite. Because that shit is in their DNA. And then you'll be like, oh, you stupid for doing that. They look at you like, nigga, what does you believe in? What do your DNA say for you? We all ain't Hebrew Israelites. We all not Moors, but goddamn it, some of us goddamn are from ancestry DNA. We either gonna be one or the other. If we gonna be real about it, you either a Hebrew Israelite or you a Moor. Period, point blank. Or you in the Caribbean, Kimbanda, Umbanda side of things. Maybe you come from Mexico. But all of these people is doing spirituality based on altered states of consciousness. Period, point blank. And how you know it's real? Because when you went to church, you see motherfuckers get into the Holy Ghost, one in the chat. But the Holy Ghost always come out of nowhere. You be like, damn, what the fuck wrong with that lady? One's in the chat. What is that? That's possession. So basically, the CIA know that the basic mechanics which underlie operation of related methods such as hypnosis, transcendent meditation, and biofeedback is all ways to alter your state of consciousness, get you into the gateway experience, and the long and the short of it is that you create your reality. Period, point blank. You are a child of the Most High. You act like these people got so much more power than you, and that's just because we just more ignorant. We much more subdued. But these people don't got more power than you. It can never be. But back to your inward eyes. Are you tuned in and tapped in to your inward eyes? So give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what tab I was on. I think that joint gone. So, anyways. Oh, I think I was talking about Trump. Okay. Q. I'm about to ruin it. So QAnon telling you all about this shit in 2016. And it could have been complete and total bullshit, except everything that more or less they predicted is coming true up until today, where Joe Biden dropped out the race, right? So now they got to figure out a way. That's why they're trying to take Trump out. They legit tried to take Trump out, FBI, CIA, but he survived. But the reality of his survival was already predicted. Now, how was it predicted and what connections are we about to make? Well, the connection that I'm about to make is John G. Trump, Nikola Tesla, Elon Musk, and Donald J. Trump. John G. Trump is the uncle of Donald Trump. John G. Trump had the honor of going through all of Nikola Tesla's papers. And why does this make sense? Because John G. Trump was a professor at MIT. He was a recipient of the National Medal of Science and a member of the National Academy of Engineering. Trump was noted for developing rotational radiation therapy. So long of the short of it, he developed one of the first million volt X-ray generators. That got to be some crazy shit to have a 1,000,000 volt X-ray generator. These people can see everything and do whatever. I just read that. But anyways, John George Trump was very smart. So smart that he could disseminate Nikola Tesla's writing and differentiate versus what we needed for our government and what we didn't need for the government. But this was a reverse hijack because Nikola Tesla worked for the ancestors. Okay? I would even say he might be a reincarnated version of H. Pascal Beverly Randolph. Okay, just more of a lighter shade, like one of your light skinned friends. But Tesla died mysteriously. John Trump go through all of his stuff. Boom. John Trump got this this nephew named Donald. So Donald just really just living life, no different from any other billionaire, right? But then in 2016 he start running for president, but this boy, he getting votes for real. I remember going to work and the white boys at my job, it was voting day and they all didn't come to work early. They was all late to work that day. One's in the chat. If you work with white boys in that first election that Donald Trump got elected in, them white boys was voting for his ass. I don't give a fuck what them white, like your regular white boys that you be working with. Oh, they was secretly in love with him. So boom, all possession though, all to get him in a position. So 2016, Donald Trump come into office. Was it 2000? Yeah, it had to be 2016. He come into office, but low key, Donald Trump opened the votes up. Donald Trump opened up the safe. That's why they released COVID, because of Trump. They had to get something to kick him out the White House. So boom, he get kicked out for 4 years. The deep state, they trying to get they get back and they lick back. They start taking boys out. See, you think like pandemic was crazy, but 2021, 2022, in retrospect, that shit was a doozy for real. Coming out of it in 2023, 2024, you start to look back like, damn, that was some crazy ass shit. Right? And it's all due to this current administration. They had to get their lick back, but it's cool though. The reason that we know what we know is because Back to the Future, which is a movie, The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, they already laid it out. Biff Tannen, he had access to the future just like Marty McFly did, but he did it sneakily. Only when you come back, where Marty McFly being like Joe Biden and Bill Clinton and all of these dudes, they think they up onto something, but the reality is that they not, right? So the fact that Donald Trump is related to Biff Tannen in the movie, and the movie is called Back to the Future, meaning that they had the technology from Nikola Tesla. They had the technology from Nikola Tesla to figure out how to time travel. And then they laid it out in the Avengers Endgame, where I think it was Doctor Strange or one of them that could see into the future, and they seen every possible outcome. And the only outcome was Thanos winning. That's what we experiencing now. They tried every scenario. They tried crack, they tried prison, they tried twerking, they tried Instagram, they tried TikTok, they tried everything to take you up out of your power. And for the reality of it, a lot of motherfuckers is completely out of their power. A lot of your ancestors, a lot of your family members, they don't give a fuck. They don't care about none of this shit. But I ain't speaking to them. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you being able to differentiate and really get into understanding the power of the spirits. The power, when we talk about spirituality, we're talking about either embodying spirits or recognizing when people are possessed and what energy is possessing that person. Because none of these people, it's only about 100 of us actually living in this motherfucker, man. Everybody is operating on programming. Because if I start talking about a threesome right now, people gonna click out the video. Oh, here he go again, talking about threesomes, knowing damn well you want to experience a threesome just like I want to. But niggas be programmed. Why you don't like a threesome? Who don't like a threesome? I'm talking about a fantasy threesome too. Your fantasies is fucked up. Oh, they be trying to move my leg, hood. I don't like it. It ain't even happening. We just imagining a mythical threesome. That's a perfect threesome. We can't even have a conversation about it. Okay. Niggas programmed. Like, like y'all ain't see the porn with the threesome before. Like, damn, I want to partake in that. That look fun. Now it's like hood. He be always talking about crazy shit. All right, call me crazy then. Call me fucking crazy, but I'm not about to operate under no more programming. When you watch this channel, I don't give a fuck about the programming. I don't give a fuck about what you think it should be because what your mama told you, you grew up like that shit is over with and dead. We grew up in the West and they ain't teach us shit about shit. We talk about possession. We a lot of motherfuckers around us be possessed. We be possessed. And then when we talking about, oh, we got to get out this situation, we can embody goddamn Mars right now. Oshun right now. Get some shit popping. You want a sugar daddy? Embody Oshun. Don't dick ride. Don't give her no goddamn honey. Right? I mean, do what you do, but at the same time, become Oshun, nigga. You like who? Me? Yes, you, Brian. Embody Oshun. Get you some hoes. Evoke the Oshun energy within yourself. You want a loving, sweet, beautiful woman that's going to cater to you? Evoke her ass. No, what they going to do? All these girls, one's in the chat. These black girls ain't shit. All these girls is hoes. These girls this. These girls that. Yeah, okay. Now you don't got nobody to give you no goddamn head. Oh, goofy ass nigga. You doing magic in the wrong way. You doing magic in the wrong way. These niggas ain't shit. These niggas ain't got no money. Okay. Well, you dealing with a broke ass nigga, huh? Sounds horrible. Your nigga ain't got no money. He don't got no money. He asking you for 5. Wow. That's the type of magic you want to do in 2024, going into 2025? Whoa, that's crazy. Oh, you don't want to evoke a Shango energy in your life? Big, strong, muscular, rich ass nigga holding it down? Okay. If you say so. Oh, it ain't no niggas like that in the world? Fine. I guess, man. I guess, sir. But see, I'm a magical motherfucker, man. So I don't have just the regular conversations. I'm trying to get some shit popping. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I see white supremacy. I see all of that shit. And now I'm starting to see it. Oh, yeah, if I think it's like that, then I'll create that reality. If I start understanding who I am, man, I've just been so getting so much downloads from, Noble Drew Ali and just getting into a space where, yeah, really got to get your status corrected. Really got to get your name changed. Really got to stand in your actual truth of knowledge itself. When I do the inner work, I say, "Oh shit, this is who I am. This is what I represent." Or else I wouldn't be in America. America is Morocco. You put an A in front of anything, you take away the root. So A, Moor. This is the land of the Moors. From LA to New York City. From San Antonio to Milwaukee. From Detroit to Florida. That's why they call it America. These niggas told you in goddamn history school, no, it's after Amerigo Vespucci. Amerigo, it ain't even no other nigga in Italy named Amerigo though. And he didn't even discover America, never even came to America. Y'all got to make this make sense. Did Amerigo Vespucci come to America? They can't answer a yes or no question. The cosmographer who unknowingly gave his name to the Americas by mistake. This whole country of people calling this place Americas by somebody named Amerigo Vespucci by mistake. And then I'm a goofy nigga on the internet, but your fucking history teachers is right and exact and esteemed professors that know what they know. And they gonna sit with a straight face and say, yeah, America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian explorer who never came to this bitch. Sounds plus let's not even think about it even more. Let's just keep it there. But if I told you America and Morocco is the same word, a Morocco, America, what would you say? And then it says the Moroccan American Treaty of Peace and Friendship, also known as the Treaty of Marrakesh, was a bilateral agreement of 1786. This is the longest standing treaty in the world. But the treaty is from 1786. This treaty was signed June 28th in 1786. But Morocco was a country when? In 1912 and 1956. Because before that, it was a country by the Moors. Why was it called? It was called Morocco. But how did America have a treaty with a country that didn't exist until 1912? Because the Morocco Empire was actually in Florida in Fort Mose, which was a star fort. Fort Mose is in Florida. That's where the Moroccans was, and these forts along the Florida coast. So Fort Mose, originally known as Garcia Saint Teresa, the Royal Grace of Saint Teresa of Mose, later as Fort Mose, or alternatively at Fort Musa or Fort Massa, is a former Spanish fort in St. Augustine, Florida. In 1738, the governor of Spanish Florida had the fort established as a free black settlement. A lot of these times where they say Spain let or Europe let or England let, no, we took. That's why they don't like us today. So when you talk about it, you're talking about, and when they talk about like, yeah, the Indians had slaves. No, the Indians did not have slaves. They just had black people a part of the tribe. And then, like I've done research on this, when they said like the white people would be confused, right? When they observe the Seminole tribes in Florida, it would seem as though the blacks were the masters and the lighter skins were the slaves. Because the blacks weren't, they knew that black people weren't from no slave that they just conquered in Africa. They knew that a majority of the black people that they saw were from Spain, were Moors. So when you tear down a population of people, you tear their ass down. And I feel them because, they playing a war game. They doing what they supposed to do in war. But as the goddamn actual person that is getting their ass kicked in the war, I gotta learn how to fight back. So once again, we not the devil for no reason. We're a particular race. So when you say Zion, and Hebrew, because Zion is connected to the devil is connected to Capricorn. But what is it? What are they afraid of? Zion in Hebrew means a weapon. In the Bible, Zion means a weapon. So once again, I studied this. I don't know if they'll say it in Google, but the Eye of Horus is a weapon. The Eye of Horus, also known as Yjet, is an ancient Egyptian symbol that represents protection, health, and restoration. It originated as the all-seeing eye. So when you talk about the eye, like, I understand it to be a weapon because when I did my third eye study, I would be deep into this study, and I came across some writing that identified. So you would have the Eye of Ra, the Eye of Horus, but they're all talking about weaponry. The malevolent gaze of Apep's own eye is a potent weapon against Ra. Ra uses the eye. Ra uses the eye as a weapon against humans who have rebelled against his authority. So we're talking about a spiritual authority. So of course, to tie it back in to what we're saying, the Eye of Ra will also be the Eye of Providence. The Eye of Providence is also the all-seeing eye, but also the Eye of Ra. This is why it's on the back of the dollar bill. This is what it's all about. And really, what we knew as Moors was this power represented an inward sight, the ability to raise your kundalini. So when we talk about a Capricorn moon, we're talking about your ability to see yourself in the most deepest spiritual level, unify your higher and lower selves, and become that version. So, of course, when you do that, you'll get a lot of money, right? You'll get a lot of success. But it's only in relation to you and your ability to actually become God, actually become a miniature version of God that sees all. This is not about the Illuminati. You are the Illuminati. You are the secret society. You have so much God force energy. You have so many ancestors. You have so much spiritual support that if you are struggling, I guarantee you're not looking for the support and you're stuck in the victim mentality. And the reason that you are stuck in the victim mentality is because it's been a plan. It's been an all out assault. But today is the day. This full moon represents the end of that attack. It might not be overnight, but we are now moving in the direction of healing. We are now moving in the direction that y'all can begin to understand and understand that you have the power within yourself. It's only so much somebody can tell you. It's only so much somebody can do for you outside of you recognizing that you are God when you unify your higher and lower selves. You got to get that ego in check. You got to stop thinking that people are better than you than worse than you. You got to understand that and practice discernment. Some of these motherfuckers that y'all like be fake as fuck. I don't know what it is you see in them, but at the end of the day, if you're not ready to actually do this work, it's fine. But understand you don't get any cool points for linking up with people. Linking up with people, connecting with people, all of that shit is fine and good. They better be on this path though. They better be trying to activate their third eye. Because the easy part for a person to do is pull you down. The hard part for you to do is try to pull somebody up. Okay? You can really hurt yourself trying to pull somebody up. And when you pull somebody down, at least you got some company. Right? That's the way that this shit goes. That's the way that this shit is. All right? So make sure that you understand that you got a lot of work to do when it comes to seeing yourself, but that's really what it's about. Like, I truly believe and know that you have the ability to activate because all the symbolism is all around us. We want money when we really should be unifying our third eye. It's right there. What is the eye of providence? It's the eye of foresight. How do you get foresight? By actually get off the food, get off the meat, get off the fluoride, get off the alcohol. Don't eat bread all the fucking time. Get into some fruits and vegetables, nuts and beans. Get into your minerals, get into your herbs, fasting, working out. Like, don't take this life as a life where somebody just put you on this bitch so they could kick your ass. That wasn't the purpose of life. You can actually live the life that you want to live, but it's certain things that you got to actually understand and understand about this shit. And it then goes into the psychological, right? You know, a lot of times people have been hurt and broken and disconnected from God force energy, and that's fine. That's why it's Bibles and Qurans all over this bitch. That's why it's spiritual books all over this bitch. Chakra Nova, Astrology Explained. You gotta, like, buying the book is not doing the work. One's in the chat. Buying the book is not doing the work. You gotta actually sit there and try to learn some shit. We gonna have some intro to astrology classes coming up very soon. I feel like that would be a good segue into understanding and overstanding the astrology. And I'll do my part the best that I can. But at this certain time, like, man, I just need people to fucking get it. It ain't about us being cool or you liking me. It's about you raising up your fucking energy, getting into your bag, your spiritual bag. So as I stated earlier, the article, which have nothing to do with the shit that I was talking about in this video, which is cool. It wouldn't make sense for you to read the same thing that I'm talking about. This video is more of a channel, but the article is more of a background, more of a fuck around and find out aspect. But we also have the worksheet. I got a link to the worksheet. If you don't want to read the article, the worksheet is free, but I want you to have a library of these worksheets. I'm doing this because it's going. I see everybody watching these videos week to week. I monitor it and I put these worksheets out. So I'm just waiting for a nigga to tell me, man, I'm getting my ass kicked out here. Well, what your worksheets look like? Oh, I ain't do the worksheets. All right, cool. Ain't nothing that I can help a nigga with for real. I'm trying to help. Like, if you can't come to me like, yeah, I've been working with the worksheets and how I want to feel, but you know, I'm having a hard trouble with getting to the point where I want to feel, then that's cool. We can work, we can start cracking that out. If you don't know how you want to feel, how the fuck I'm gonna tell you how you want to feel? That don't even make sense. I wouldn't even want to do that to know. It feel kind of sussy. It feel kind of suspect. Hood, just tell me how I'm supposed to feel, man. Bro, I ain't about to do that. You can't write down how you want to feel. The hardest part of the worksheet, which I give you instructions to, but still, you visit astroseek.com, put in your information, click a transit chart, see where the full moon is at, and then you'll figure out what house your full moon is at. It's in my third house. No, it's in my fourth house of home, right? Which is cool. I can understand it, overstand that, because I'm still working towards this Pluto been in my fourth house like a motherfucker. You feel me? So it's not to say I'm definitely in a space where I'm cool, but I'm not cool, and I don't be letting people on just to how not cool I actually am. But at the same time, Pluto is in my fourth house, so I'm cool with the transition. A transition look fucked up until it get rebuilt again, right? If we said we about to rebuild this house and then we tore it all down and then you took a snapshot of the tear down and like, all right, we done, you would feel a certain type of way, but that's not how life works. That's not how a rebuild works. So you got to tear yourself down to build yourself back up again. And I've been actually on the rebuilding process. But the thing of when you tear your shit down, you got to rebuild, it make you start to look at life a lot more seriously every single day in reference to my kids, my life, my relationships, my future. Oh yeah, we about to take this shit seriously because Pluto is in my fourth house, and I don't got time to be playing or acting like we cool or none of that shit. I'm really trying to figure out this transformational aspect, and really trying to embody this Pluto and Capricorn energy. And this energy is not for weak ass motherfuckers. I'm sorry. It's for people that's really trying to take life seriously. And if it's too hard, that's when you got to start looking inward. You out here using Crest and Colgate, you just getting any type of random toothpaste, you using any type of random mouthwash, talking about I can't get my life together, hood. I can't figure it out. Stop using random toothpaste. Stop going to Walmart for your toothpaste. Oh, I get this. Oh, they nigga told me they got Toms at Walmart. So I'm not going to Walmart to get no damn toothpaste. I'm going to the natural food store and I'm reading the fucking ingredients. If it got any ingredient in a toothpaste that I can't read or Google, I'm not getting it. Because the easiest way for them to calcify your pineal gland is through brushing your teeth. That's why everybody got Colgate and Crest and all of these toothpaste got goddamn fluoride in it. The water got fluoride in it. And it's working. It's working on niggas. The toothpaste, the water, that's all it really take. Niggas be like, I'm thirsty. Go make me some of that Kool-Aid. Calcifying your damn pineal gland. For what? Right now, you can't even see. So, man, I hope that people can begin to value their third eye, their pineal gland, pituitary gland, begin to make the decisions that will facilitate a healthy pineal gland because it's going to make all the difference in your ability to receive impressions from the spiritual world. I mean, it's a lot of people that's like got clout in the spiritual space, but it's like, yeah, get over yourself, right? Do the work, right? I'm doing the worksheet. I'm doing the inner work. This is just the things that I do. I lose track of my intentions, which is crazy because they're the things that I want. But like, well, what was your intention for the new moon? I don't know. And I tried to play that shit this week, but then I remembered I wrote this shit down because I had the worksheet. And it's staring me right in my face. And I'm like, damn, I ain't make no fucking leeway on my new moon intention. It's the same thing as buying a scale. If you want to lose weight, buy you a motherfucking scale, a digital scale from $20 off of Amazon or go to Walmart or some shit. Stand on that bitch and look at your weight. That's going to motivate you to work the fuck out the same day. I guarantee you, if you just stand on a goddamn scale thinking, oh, I weigh about 150, you stand on that bitch, you 187. You like, oh yeah, let me go to the gym. So, do the work. Have it staring in your face. And realize that damn, I really didn't work. It didn't happen the way that I wanted. Maybe it was something in me that I didn't do, and I know it was something in me that I didn't do because I felt it for the past 2 weeks. I'm waking up, kind of, you know, going through the motions, right? So now I go through the full moon. What do I need to get rid of? What bad habits do I need to get rid of to apply to then follow through? Because the intention should lead you through 28 days. The full moon is just the revelation. All right. So we got 14 more days in this cycle to manifest. But this is the great part of the cycle, the waning moon. You get what you want when you release. I guarantee you, if you had an intention to get money, start getting rid of shit. If you had an intention to get a new house, start clearing out shit out your old house. If you're living in clutter, just get rid of all of the clutter. Just get rid of everything around you. Shit will start making sense. You'll start moving in the energy. Money will start calling. People will start calling. That's how this shit goes. It's a waning moon. It's our time. We've already won. All we need to do is see it within ourselves and really move forward with the energy. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. That's for sure. I'm a stay consistent with the studies. Like I've been writing a book, so Blue Magic pre-orders available. Link is in the description. And still trying to come through with this content. I'm gonna get off this live. Yeah, I got a reading in about 45 minutes, so I'm about to clear my mind, clear my space in preparation for this reading. If you want a reading from me, visit the link in the description. Go to hoodmystic.com. On that right panel, you'll see schedule or book an online reading. If you're on your phone, just scroll to the bottom. There'll be a little button you can click. Get a mini reading, $50. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to overextend it because I love the people. You understand? And I want to talk more Blue Magic, but that will be in article form. Might do a video here and there, but want to put y'all up on this game, on this spiritual stuff. I was doing Blue Magic and a dollar bill got shown to me as the Moorish sign, as the Moorish seal. I'm like, oh shit. So it's like, yeah, start working with that all-seeing eye. I'm about to give me a t-shirt with it printed on there. Just meditate on that all-seeing eye. Get your finances in order. But that's in another video, another article way down the line, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me, though. I do appreciate y'all letting you know that a change is going to come. It's all positive energy. We don't need none of that negative vibration unless it's getting us to a positive outcome, right? But the worst has happened and it's behind us. Let's move forward in our glory, in our majesty, and give thanks to the ancestors, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Young Dolph, ancestors that helped me prepare this live. Hope you got some value from it. I'm the Hood Mystic, representing hoodmystic.com. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
You are watching the master.
Just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't